Well, I mean, oh, so you're right. It was just a
burrito
bowl. Dude, at least you have
Yeah.
Chipotle within a driving distance to you.
I was on my way home too. That's the nice part. Shout out to apps. If you don't know that you can order food on an app and not wait in the stupid line, it'll change your life.
That's just COVID world now, right? It's just post-COVID.
Well, I mean, I walked in there and the line was starting to get out the door type of thing, and I just walked to the side and grabbed my food and leave.
Pretty nice for convenience purposes. Or if you just don't want to deal with
nice.
people
And
purposes.
you can do it like anywhere. Like if you're at the airport and there's a line for something, well, chances are they have an app where you can order online and skip that line.
The airport? Wait, the airport does that?
So like if you're at Starbucks at the airport, for example, right?
Oh, okay. Like
Everybody's gonna get Starbucks, right?
Yeah, I'm with you now.
So you hop on the app, place your order, walk to the front of the line, get your order, leave.
Speaking of airports, how's Denver's airport compared to the airport list out there? Like, is it ease of access or is it fun?
How deep do you want to go down this rabbit hole?
Oh, dude, I'm all about the airport rabbit hole. Let's go. I can give you the ones I haven't flown into many, but I've flown into some, and I just, oh my lord.
I haven't flown into many either, but this is like a central hub for like layovers. And it's like one of the biggest ones in the country. At one point, it was the biggest one. I don't know if it still is, but it's ridiculous. There's like 100 gates or some shit. Like it's absurd.
Mm-hmm. When I rolled up to that thing to drop Kyle off, I was like, did I just come into like an entirely new city? Like, where am I? I feel like I was in a town.
It's like a secret military base for the lizard people that are underground.
What?
You've never heard the conspiracy theories about the airport?
Not this one, no.
Are you fucking kidding me?
About this is like specific to Denver's airport?
Oh yeah, dude. They have these crazy murals inside that are you look at them closely and you're like, these are fucked up. Like, what is this about?
I did see the mural thing, dude. Yeah, but no, I don't know I think we talked about the mural thing, but I didn't know the other stuff.
What? That it's where they house aliens? There's all kinds of weird shit they say. Like allegedly the barbed wire fence on the outside of the airport faces inward, not outward.
Oh, so they're trying to like keep something in.
It's one of the biggest airports in the country, and there's only 4 runways.
There's only 4
all face different
runways?
directions. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you wouldn't think that. You'd think there'd be significantly more based on driving up to that place.
They have a time capsule thing in the what's called the Great Hall, which is like a Freemasons thing, allegedly. I don't know. The murals are creepy as shit.
Dude, yeah, that was messed up. I think I saw that on a TikTok actually.
That you see on the way killed the guy that made it.
Yeah. What the heck? What's wrong with Denver? Come on now. I saw that on a TikTok. There were some people talking about those murals and how like one of them was like this Nazi painting and
kinda, yeah, it's very eerily similar.
There was like this woman whose child was like starving in her hands or something like that.
Not one, multiple. A line of them.
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah. Like, who sanctioned that? Who's like, yeah, this looks like great.
SS officer overlooking them. God.
Yeah, but like, who's like, yeah, these murals check out, baby. These are great. Like, someone had to approve that.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
That's brilliant, dude. I mean, like,
but compared to the other airports I've been to, definitely one of the nicer ones for sure.
Is it pretty ease of access? Like rating wise, ease of access, A+ or what?
What would you consider ease of access?
So
like,
okay,
it's like one I know like the back of my hand. So no, probably not. Does anybody know their fucking way around the airport? Isn't everybody just lost and nobody's helpful?
That's so true. God, I hate airport. But like the runs next to me, like Springfield's not. It's only 150,000 people, but like so, there's not very many terminals, and like. You know, everyone's always like, yeah, you got to show up like 2 hours before your flight, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you show up to Springfield and like, you just roll in, check in.
There are days you need to show up 2 hours before your flight.
Oh yeah. I've never had that happen in Springfield. Like, but it's small. So,
I mean, one morning I went in there and the line was long as shit and I was like worried about it, but it actually moved pretty quick. But I've heard people missing flights because they didn't expect the security line to be so long.
I love though that people don't expect that and they literally tell you to expect it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've had such good luck, but I'm always the guy that's there 2 hours early, right? And then I
Yeah.
have to sit at my terminal, so I just do something else.
Yeah, it's not all that bad to show up early. Because if you
But here at
are,
TIA, the fucking terminals are so long. Like if you're on Concourse B, I think it is. There's a Voodoo Donuts. There's like an Elway's restaurant.
oh
There's
wow,
fucking
is
dude, it's
that place
crazy.
any good? Have you eaten at
Elway's.
Elway's?
Yeah, I had breakfast there one time. It wasn't bad.
Not terrible. The Lord and Savior of the Denver Broncos.
Houston has good restaurants in their airport. If you go to Hobby,
Mm.
let's see, Chicago. Where did I fly in Chicago? I fly into
Chicago was a
O'Hare in
nightmare.
Chicago. I don't remember O'Hare being all that.
God, it was terrible. I had a connecting flight to New York there one time, and oh my God, that was
I've
terrible.
never done a connecting flight. I've never done the more than one flight thing. I'm not built for that. Newark was okay. LaGuardia was like all brand new when I went through there. That was kind of fancy.
When you got out of Newark, did you feel a little like, where am I at type of feeling? Was it a little
I was in a
eerie?
rental car, bro. I couldn't fucking tell.
Oh, okay.
It was in 10 o'clock at night. Like the first lady I encountered at the rental car place, they gave me a car that wasn't registered. And this dude comes up and starts writing something on the windshield. And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you writing on the fucking windshield?" I'm like, "Nice. At home.
This is
I can deal with these people."
we're here, yeah.
Yeah.
New
but then I
Jersey,
had to get
man.
another car.
That's a
New
special
Jersey was
place.
interesting.
Yeah.
No left turns, bro. No left turns.
Yeah. The first time I encountered that, I was like, I have to go all the way around this stupid turnpike
sure
thing
do.
just to
And
go.
you better bring fucking cash to New Jersey because they don't want to pay taxes.
Yeah, for sure, dude. The turnpike, the first time I got on the turnpike at New Jersey, I was like, oh my Lord. It's just 8 deep.
I drove that thing for a couple hours.
Ugh.
All the way into the city.
I never drove into the city. I always just took the subway in or the train. I took the train in.
I may have overindulged in the cannabis in New Jersey. I might have gotten like some really, really strong joints on accident. And I'm like, all right, well, I have 8 hours before I have to be LaGuardia. I'm like, I'm just gonna drive around the city ish, right? And make it to LaGuardia in like this roundabout scenic route. So I planned it out on Google Maps. There's a park you can view the Statue of Liberty from that's not Battery Park, it's the other side of the statue.
Yeah.
Like that'll like give you like a roundabout way to go back to Queens.
Yeah.
You can kind of go through Brooklyn and this, that, and whatever. So I'm like, oh, cool, this will work out well. Well, I'm not well versed in Google Maps, so didn't realize you have to like choose which one is the first destination and which one's the second.
Yeah, you have to plot them out. Yeah.
Right. So I thought, I don't know what I thought exactly. I just wasn't, I don't know. Clearly was not paying attention to details. I'm driving down the Jersey Turnpike and like I see Yankee Stadium, I see MetLife Stadium. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I'm like kind of going through Manhattan, which is just like advertisement central.
Oh yeah,
right?
dude.
Fucking ads everywhere. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, I don't think this was on the route, but I'm just driving, like whatever, just listening to what it tells me. And then it's like exit and take a left, and you'll be at LaGuardia. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, oh shit. And I looked at the map, literally. So I drove all the way down the Jersey Turnpike and whatever that turns into, to LaGuardia. And I'm like, well, I don't have to be here for like another 5 hours, 4 hours. So what do I do? So I drove all the way back around, did another loop.
No.
Which led me through Brooklyn at 5 p.m. on
Monday. I bet that was fun. Yeah.
Dude, that place is weird, right? Like you have a super nice whatever store and then just a shithole right next to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Brooklyn was really interesting because I went up through there and then we went over to the Bronx to go see the Yankees game. But it was just like, yeah, it's like, whoa, look at this over here. This is amazingly nice with apartments and things like that. And then you literally look to your left and you're like,
one step.
Oh,
like mixed together.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Like a fashion store, and then next door is 99-cent pizza.
Yes. Huh. Yeah, I jumped all over the 99-cent pizza, by the way.
I drove through Little France, like a block long in Brooklyn. That was weird.
What was that like? Why was it weird?
Because it's just like a block of like French stuff. I don't know. It's fucking
I was about to say, I don't think I made it that far.
Oh, I was just stuck in the traffic, so I was just checking it out.
Yeah,
Can I get a croissant or what?
it definitely didn't drive in New York. I was like, I'm not taking on this experience. Not gonna happen.
Have you ever had Little Caesars pizza?
Yeah.
I had the Queen's version of it.
Oh yeah.
And I shit you not, it was like the weirdest, like, bizarro world thing ever, because you go in and you order it, and it's literally like, I got pizza and breadsticks.
Mhm.
Well, this was like the best crazy bread I'd ever had in my entire life, and then this was like a higher quality Little Caesars pizza. I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" I was like, I came to New York for pizza, and this is what I ended up with.
I can't remember.
Just because it was close to the airport.
Someone had recommended a pizza place, and I forget the name of it now. I just went to the address. I think I talked to somebody on like Times Square because I was like, hey, because I did the whole tourist thing. I'm a tourist. I want the New York
Oh,
pizza.
did you?
Yeah, blah blah blah. And they're like, yeah, just go
I
over
didn't
here.
want to spend too much time there. I had enough fun driving around.
I was there for a week. It was like my
What?
yeah, like a college graduation thing. It was like a college graduation thing. So I was like, I want to go watch the Yankees. Yeah, I want to go watch the Yankees play. Go to Yankee Stadium. Of course, they played the Angels actually, and I went and watched. I went and watched the game and had pretty good seats. Paid for pretty good seats there. And then the next night, we were just like, all right, let's just go buy some nosebleed tickets or whatever. And we get there and we're standing in line, and these two season ticket holders are like, hey, you want 2 free tickets? So I was like, yep, sure do. So they're just like, just follow us in. So I just followed them in and sat like third row. It was fine. It was really cool. So I got to go to 2 Yankees games and like walked through the stadium and toured the stadium and like checked out Monument Park and all that cool stuff. Of course, though, that was the one year that Derek Jeter was hurt. So I didn't even get to see Derek Jeter play in Yankee Stadium, which was kind of a sad year moment. It was sad, dude. That's my guy. That's my icon. That's the guy that I wanted to be growing up, man.
And I never got to watch Kobe or Michael Jordan play in person. Get over yourself.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch Kobe. I've watched LeBron twice. I've watched Derek play in person, but it was in Kansas City. Every time the Yankees come to Missouri, I try to go watch.
Did you watch that game last night by chance?
I gave up after the third quarter, so
You got close after the third quarter.
yeah, that's what my buddy said. Like he came over and we watched, and then like when Jokic hit that 3 right in the third quarter, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. It's over. I'm like, if they could not miss, dude, they could not miss.
It was crazy. I didn't get to watch it because my internet was down, unfortunately. But
there was a stretch where Jamal Murray in the third quarter, there was a stretch where he just went like 4 straight possessions, and they ran this little like pick and pop thing for him on the baseline, and he hit like 4 straight jumpers off of it. And I was like,
how about the one he drained in LeBron's face?
Oh yeah, Jamal's a dog. Murray is an absolute. He's good, dude. He is such a playoff beast. Yeah, he's really. I think they get to the finals this year. I told my buddy, I was like, I don't think the Lakers can handle him. And Jokic had like 12 rebounds in the first quarter.
Everyone's like, well, in the fourth they started. I'm like, Jokic will figure out what they're doing, and he'll make another adjustment. Like I don't know, man.
It was
that's a different team than I've ever seen. I was like, that's hell happened here.
I think they talked about it. Who was it? Colin Cowherd talked about like steps, like Jokic gets to the semis, and then last year or a year ago or something, he got to the finals, and then they struggled a little bit last year because Jamal Murray got hurt, and then but it's like, so they've just taken steps, and now they're kind of like, it's their time to get to that championship caliber season.
Yeah, everyone's healthy.
Yeah, dude, Jamal Murray healthy is scary. And Jokic is on another level. He should have been the MVP again. So
MPJ is ridiculous. Like, you have a 6'11" small forward.
You ever heard the story on him? You know where he went to college?
Mizzou.
Yeah, dude. Did you hear the story? Did you ever keep up with all that stuff?
No, he hurt his back or something.
Yeah. So like we got him and like all these great prospects, and it was like, oh yeah, Mizzou's back, baby. It's our time. And then like literally 3 out of the 4 didn't play like the entire season because they got hurt. And then they limped into the tournament, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Michael Porter's gonna play. He's gonna play." Like he was just a shell of himself. He couldn't move. His back was still messed up. But Mizzou basketball. Oh dear God.
He's a pretty crazy athlete.
Yeah, he's a freak. I mean, he was the number 1 prospect coming out of high school. He was the number 1 overall.
Only had some FRC in his life.
Could probably fix something.
It would definitely help.
You ever played the what if story with athletes on FRC? Like, man, what if this guy would have known about this stuff or this? Like Derrick Rose. Like, you remember
what
Derrick?
Do you mean? Do I ever? What do you think I do all the time?
Yeah, like D Rose. I was thinking about the other day. I was like, man, what if D Rose would have done some knee cars and some some tibial pills,
Oh,
rails, and
all kinds of stuff. I just do it with the like gym freaks that I see. I'm like, man, what if they did this?
how many of the actual strength coaches in the NBA do you think know or would buy into something like that? And
RC did a seminar with them in their off season.
okay, but how many of the actual like veterans of the league are going to buy in to those principles? You know what I mean? Because I remember working with AJ and those NBA guys would come in and they would talk about like what the strength coach setting was like at their actual teams, and it was more of like a, you know, it's forced upon the young guys that come into the league to set the culture and tone and blah 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 and all that stuff. But then like, you know, 5-6 years in the league, you know, you kind of got your footing and you can kind of do your own thing as far as strength and conditioning is concerned. So I just feel like that's hard to implement at that level, but maybe not. I don't know. It's like you're paying them. So it's like, should they buy into your system because you're paying them? Or, I mean, because like,
Wait,
I don't know.
wait, what? Who's paying who?
It's like the teams are playing these players, obviously. So it's like, should it be in their contracts to like?
You know that's not going to happen. That happened. The NFL doesn't even like. Come on.
Yeah, but the NFL has a pretty decent grasp on training for the most part. Not all, but most.
On the strength part,
Yeah.
I don't know if they have maybe some condition. I don't know. I don't even argue the conditioning's not that good because they take some games to get into shape.
Into playing shape, yeah. You can't simulate that. They're not going to do it in OTAs either because they're also not going to hurt their $1 million assets.
No, but couldn't you just build a big enough GPP base to where it doesn't take that long?
I think Brian talked about that. Brian Bott, he talked about how like he utilizes sleds pretty heavily leading up to like right before those kids go off to camp or their off season or whatever it is. And
it's like the way you think about it is if you condition the body to be able to work long capacity, I don't know.
Well, if it's conditioned to work long capacity, then once they actually go to that sports setting, it should perform better.
Yeah, but who's doing anything for steady state for long periods of time? I did hear a thing the other day. It was Gilbert Arenas was talking about it, getting ready for basketball season. He's like, I used to run 5 miles a day.
Yeah.
He's like, we would average 2 to 2.5 in a game. He's like, I'd go run 5 a day. I'm like, damn, I ain't running no 5 miles.
Well, I think there's better ways to build it. I don't think you have to go run 5 miles.
I mean, the best way to do it is whatever they're going to do. That's the thing I think most people don't understand. You're dealing with humans, so they're only going to do what they want to do. So you better find the best solution that they want to do. That's running. Well, then you got to manage the running volume.
Do you think that you can manage? So, like, if he's already doing the 2.5 on the court, you know, like, I feel like
this was in their off season. He was running 5, so he wasn't doing 2.5. Then this was to get in shape.
No, but you know those guys are still getting up and down the court in the off season. You know what I mean? Like they're still going to play those 5-on-5s and things like that.
Maybe, dude. I wouldn't want to if I played fucking 100 games.
No, but I think a lot of them. So yeah, so I mean, I don't think running would be the best option. Then would it be?
How could you get that out of shape if you're still playing in any capacity?
It's a good question. So
like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, once they get done, they literally take a whole month off.
Oh yeah, I think LeBron talked about that because the bubble season went so long. Like, and you look at like if you make a deep playoff run, yeah, like look at how many games you're playing then, and then if you do that consecutively, like think of the Warriors when their dynasty years were running there, you know.
Well, I'm thinking like they take a month off of strength training too. Like, yeah, they're not like what?
Yeah, everything.
What? Why? Just reduce the volume, at the very least.
Yeah, but most people don't think of it in terms of like that. They're just thinking linearly, so they don't think that they can just reduce the volume and still get a good training stimulus or reduce some kind of stimulus.
Stimulus takes such a small amount. It's not even funny. People have no idea. Like, they're overstimulated all the time.
Yeah, it would appear to be that way. I know I was before I was like trying to do everything, and it's like, hey, dude, just chill for a little bit. Let your body reset.
Well, I mean, you have to build up to being able to do crazy stuff.
Well, yeah, but I'm nowhere near the crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need the amount of stuff I was doing. The stress that I was taking on was just hurting what I was doing. It wasn't helping what I was doing. It wasn't good stress at that point.
Body doesn't know any different between good or bad, so.
Right.
That's the problem, people. I think
you should explain that to people because most people don't understand that concept.
The body only recognizes a stress response as a stress response, and there's not like, hey, here's some good stress that's going to benefit me, and here's some bad stress that doesn't benefit. No, it all just is stress. Doesn't really like any particular form of it. It'll make adaptations in response to that stress that we like. Body is like, fuck you most of the time.
It doesn't want to do anything we tell it to do.
Like, ironically, the adaptations that are easiest are the metabolic ones and the neurological ones. So if you want to get stronger, or you want to get, a bigger gas tank, those ones happen because the body becomes more efficient. So it's really likely to want to do that. Whereas, like, if you fall in the bodybuilding thing, it doesn't want to fucking do that at all. It's like the last thing it wants to do.
Right.
So that's even harder. So if you're like, yeah, we need to build some muscle, and it's like, oh, really? Well, this is going to be a fun challenge.
I get that a lot. People are like, I want to tone up. I want to build muscle. I want to do this. I'm like, I don't think you know what you're asking for, first of all. Second of all, we're not even eating a balanced diet at this point, so we can't even think about crossing that rib.
Yeah, those people, you just start with metabolic stuff and some strength training, and they'll hypertrophy a little bit just because their body doesn't know else. Like, it just has to.
Yep.
But yeah, actual hypertrophy training sucks.
Well, but like kids too. Kids are like, I want to get bigger. And then you go over what they're eating in a day and you're like, you're never going to grow. You're never going to grow. Like I had a kid come in. Well, yeah. Well, true. But then a kid comes in and he's kind of sluggish and kind of, crawling around and dragging his feet, trying to get going, I was like, hey man, like what'd you eat today? Like, what's up? You look a little tired. He was like, oh, I had a bowl of cereal for lunch. And I'm like, wait, whoa, that's it? That's all I'm rocking with today? Like, that's what we're doing? And he was like, yeah, just a bowl of cereal. And I'm like, yeah, you don't need to be training. Like, I think you just need to go home. He was like, are you serious?
Not a box, a bowl.
Yeah.
A bowl of cereal.
Yeah. I was like, I just think you need to turn around and go home. He's like, you really want me to leave? And I'm like, well, no, I want you to eat optimally so we can actually train. But yeah, you should probably just go home.
You don't even have to, not even optimally in that scenario, just adequately. Let's change it to adequately.
That's a good word for it.
A bowl of cereal is not adequate for a workout.
But welcome to these high school, middle school kids, dude.
Oh, trust me, I was one of those people. The only thing that saved me is I love Chipotle.
Dude, I tell you what saved me. I grew up with my grandma, so my grandma was kind of like the head of the household, and she kind of took care of us and stuff, and she just loved to cook. So I never went for hungry, and I was always like, hey grandma, like I'm hungry, will you make some food? She was like, oh yeah, I got you. So I never worried about food. And like school lunches too, like I didn't ever, like if it was put in front of me, like I'm gonna eat this, you know what I mean? Like kids now are just like, school, I get it, but like
I'm pretty shit, bro.
Totally, but I'm hungry. Like I'm hungry, gonna eat. I was like scavenging off people's freaking trays, and I was that guy. Yeah, whatever, but I was hungry, man, because I was an athlete. Yeah. Like I had to, because I knew at 12 o'clock when I got to practice at 4 o'clock, if I didn't scavenge some food off of somebody, that little school lunch wasn't doing it. And by the time practice came around, I was just like, I'm done. I'm so done.
Yeah, my parents would make like the same few dishes for dinner every so often, but most of the time I was like, what do you want to go get fast food wise? I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, because you're a kid, you're never going to turn that down.
That wasn't good.
But you're never turning it down.
No, but I was a fat kid. Almost. Not really. But for someone who played sports, I was.
But all kids love that. They're like, your parents are like, hey, do you want me to go home and make this meal, or we can go to McDonald's? And they're always 1,000% taking McDonald's.
I mean, yeah, if you gave me the choice, but as you said, I wasn't gonna go hungry. So if it was made, I was gonna fucking eat it. And it wasn't like the meals that they made were bad.
No, but it's always
They didn't want to make them.
Well, now the kids have the McDonald's app, so they get points for all their purchases. So they're just like collecting all this free McDonald's stuff.
Game. Yeah. Got some Chipotle points today.
Oh god, Chipotle points, dude! I haven't had Chipotle in a minute.
Okay.
Probably since Arizona. So expensive.
It's not my favorite anymore, but it's only $10 for actual meat.
Just the meat.
For me, guess how much a meal costs me most times when I go to eat somewhere?
Oh, probably $30.
I didn't mean sit down.
Oh, you just mean okay. I don't know, like 15.
That's casual.
10, 15. Yeah, 10, 15.
15. Fuck, $20, dude. Easy $20 every time.
Yeah, that's just the norm now, though. Like that's normal.
Yeah, because of extra protein. It's fucking expensive.
My wife went to Panera yesterday on her way home, and she was like, she texted me or she called me, and she's like, $18 for freaking a sandwich at Panera. I'm like, yeah, they're selling you the experience though. It's the coffee shop experience you're paying for, babe. And she was like, didn't see that on my receipt. I'm like, they won't show it to you.
Yeah, so when I can get Chipotle, I paid $11 for Chipotle today, so I'll take that.
How do you convince people? Maybe you don't or don't try, because I know how you work. But how do you convince people to understand that eating out is, because people always say I don't have money to eat healthy. I don't have money to eat healthy. I'm like, really? Because I'm eating pretty damn healthy right now, and I've saved a ton of money on groceries this week. So, like, how do you convince people to understand that? Is it just because of the convenience factor that they're just like, this thing that I'm paying for here is worth the time that I would have to prepare for food, even if it is cheaper? Like going to the store, buying the food, prepping the food, you know?
I honestly don't have this conversation often because I am terrified of dealing with nutrition with people.
Yeah,
Like,
it's tough.
There's a lot of checklists you have to check before I'm like, hey, you want to work on your nutrition?
What are some of those things?
Unless people are like just really fucking serious. What are some of those things? Like, I don't know. Do you fill out your workouts?
Yeah.
Start.
That's a
Like,
basic
can you
one?
track anything?
Wait.
Yeah, like, can you track anything?
Oh,
Because
okay.
if you can't track your workouts, how am I going to get you to track food?
Yeah, that's also a hang up for people too. It's like, hey, I need you to track the food, and then I need you to take the food and put it on the sheet for me so I can see it and track it with you. That just never happens. That always gets lost in translation.
It's not even that hard. It takes like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's not tough. It's not tough. I do have
7
some.
days you enter at one time, and then you just have all this stuff, and it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I just, like I said, it's become a game for me. Like when I'm just like, I like watching the little lines go up, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I don't know. Anytime someone's ever told me it's expensive to eat healthy, I just go, bull fucking shit, it is.
Yeah, it's not. It's really
Chicken
cheap.
thighs are $4 a pound, right? Rice noodles are $6 for a package, and there's 16 ounces. There's 50 grams of carbs per 2 ounces. So what is that? 50 times 8? 400 grams of carbohydrates in one package.
It's crazy, right? People
for
always
$6.
ask. People always ask me, where can I get my
$6.
carbs?
That's expensive for carbs because rice is way cheaper than that.
Yeah, they're like, what do you get for carbs? I'm like, rice. Or
Buy
rice.
10 pounds of rice for, it's now $15, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's still dirt cheap.
Yes.
I think people don't want to fall in love with the monotony of just eating similar things all over and over again either.
No, I'm here to perform. I'm not here to fucking
have
mouth pleasures.
Well, I had a buddy that was, God dang it, dude, this guy, I love him to death. But he was like, yeah, I'm down to like 185. And I'm like, well, okay, like, what's your goal? Like, you don't have, like, okay, you just told me this random number, but like, what's your
arbitrary numbers? We had to talk about this.
Yeah, we did, right? And like when people, because I was like, I want to get down to 205, and they're like, do you really want to be 205? And I'm like, no, but the thought behind the 205 number is I'm going to carry a little less weight and I'm going to feel better so that I can perform better. Doesn't, like, when I look and feel and like I can move better, like, I don't want to feel like I have a muffin top everywhere I go and I'm walking around. And that's how I felt in the last 3 months. So it's like my number has some value, but when you're just like, yeah, I weigh 185, and I'm like, okay, so like, what's the goal? Like, do you want to look better? Do you want to bulk? Like, do you want to get stronger? Do you want to get bigger? Like, what's the thing? And he's like, well, he's a basketball guy. He's like, I want to dunk. He's like, I think I could dunk. And I'm like, okay, well, we're training for performance then at that point. So you have to get this stuff locked on. He's like, yeah, I'm just not going to do it. Like, I'm not going to take the time to do the nutritional work to do that. He's like, I'll come in here and train hard and my performance will go up. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. That's why I posted the picture that I wrote out on the marker board, because I was like, it's not a checkbox. It's a circle. They all work together. And if you take one piece out, then you're not training correctly because they're not being optimized together, because they work together.
Well, the synergistic effect tends to not work if you leave one of them out.
Right. And I'm like, especially if you just said you wanted to learn or you want to train to dunk, you need an incredible amount of nutritional guideline to meet the things you need to perform, to be able to produce maximal efforts. If you're going to jump at maximal effort, if we're going to train jumping, or if we're going to train you to lift heavier things, like, you have to have the nutritional value to actually even output those things when the time comes.
Do you think a normal person has to squat to be able to dunk?
I mean, I don't know. I don't dunk, and I'm
Fun fact: anyone from West Side that ever squatted 1,000 pounds, all of
Dunked.
those guys could dunk.
Yeah, that was awesome.
They're like 250 and above, I think.
I think there's more. That's like a multifactorial question. I feel like though, because it's not like if you just reach a squat number, you're gonna dunk. You know what I mean?
Well, how big is a basketball? Because I did my vert the other day. I got 10.5 is what
They
I could
weigh.
touch.
Well, the ball weighs like 29.5 ounces.
I don't
So-
care how much it weighs. The circumference is also 29.5, I think.
Is that what it is? That might be right, actually. I think it
The
is
circumference is 29.5. What's that make the diameter?
half of that. Or the diameter would be all the way across, so it'd be half circumference divided by 3.14. So 8 something, 9 something.
So I'm literally probably a couple inches away from being able to dunk a basketball then.
Yeah, because you just got to get it over. Yeah,
Well, I can get 10.5 on the Vertec thing.
dude.
Standing vertical
I
jump.
don't want to start talking about this vertical stuff. It pisses me off.
Well, that one I know is actually 10 feet 5 inches. So
no, like yeah. God, I don't know, dude. This vertical stuff. I don't want to get into it. It's one of the.
I'm suspect of.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to
That only matters is if you use the same fucking tool to measure it from the beginning to whatever. Like that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
The difference is the bigger thing. Like how much did you add?
Well, but you also, if you're using the mat and you're doing it that way, that like you said, that is fine that you measure it that way. But they have to land correctly the same way every time that you're holding them to the same standard of landing every time too.
I don't know shit about the mats. I'm not willing to dive in.
You need to read well, there's research in them. Like there's papers out there and stuff. They did tests and studies on them compared to like
talking about papers, dude. It's whoever paid for that to happen made the results appear.
What do you mean?
That's how studies work. Studies are paid for by somebody. Somebody's looking for an answer. So when you pay for a study, you're looking for a particular answer. It's generally what you find.
Well, they compared though. They were comparing like lasers compared to like the jump mat and a Vertec. I think they took all three, and like the jump mat was always significantly higher than the other two. So, but like Bidney says that like if he has a guy jump 40 on the mat when they go to do their pro day, like they're 40 inches on the Vertec. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to discredit what that guy says. He put some freaking freaks out. So,
I mean,
yeah.
The easiest way, yeah, put their hand on a wall, measure where their hand is.
Yep.
Have them jump and touch.
I just know that every time a kid comes into me and even does that, and they're like, yeah, I jumped 30 inches. And then I put them on the lasers, and they're like, 24. I'm like, what? 6 inches? How are we losing 6 inches here in translation? What's going on?
Does it actually measure 30 inches, though, when they do like a...
They had the thing. They had the little Vertec thing, like the one they jump and touch at school. And they're like, yeah, it's 30 inches. And then they come into my lasers, and my lasers are like 24.
Well, but do you like measure their reach and do the math for them? Because who knows?
I'm not the one. That's what I'm saying. They're coming in and telling me these things. So again, how much truth to it, I don't know. But everyone that says that they jump a certain thing,
like I will double check that shit, right? I double check my reach, and then I'll double check that the things are actually what it says it's supposed to be at.
So what's your vert?
I don't know. I think I can reach 7.9. I can jump to 10.5.
I can't do the math. That's 3.
Well, let's see. 36 inches would be what? 10.9, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 4 inches below that, 32.
Look at you, Skywalker.
I mean, I've always been anywhere between 29 and like 31, so that wouldn't surprise me.
I think the best I ever got on my lasers was 25. So,
but I would hope I can almost squat 500 pounds. I would hope I could jump 30 inches.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a correlation there.
I should see what I can jump in those knee sleeves.
Oh, dear God. You would just be a spring, I feel like. But, yeah. People always ask me, like, well, why are you doing heavy squats? Like, when people want to increase their vertical or whatever like that, they're like, well, why are you doing heavy squats to make their vertical go up? And I'm like, because we're trying to strengthen the musculature to make that actually happen. Like, you can't just jump higher. Like, if you just only do jumps, you're never going to just meet. You won't do
larger muscles to produce the force.
Yeah. But people don't understand that. You know what I mean? They just want one thing. They correlate jumping. If you jump a lot, He'll jump higher. It's like, well, no, that's not the case. That's not how this works. You have to get stronger. You have to produce a higher ceiling of maximal force. But
Right.
try convincing people of that. Good luck.
Oh man, dude, I did the squats in the singlet today. Shit's uncomfortable.
Yeah, you looked a little tight, buddy.
Dude, it is a little tight for the lower half. The upper half is fine.
At the bottom? Did it squeeze you at the bottom?
It definitely gives me a wedgie. And then my belt moves too.
Oh,
So that's fun. Like I know when I have depth, because if I go below depth like I did, it slides my belt up for me.
I benched with the belt on today. I felt a little. It was different, but I think it. I see what you're talking about.
Effect. I could see all kinds of movement.
Am I up? Yeah, I couldn't get comfortable today at all. Like, just could not find it at all. No setup was feeling good. Like, as soon as I did my first set, I'm like, yep, this one's gonna be fun today.
That's a good positive attitude to bring into the workout.
I felt good going in. I really did. I woke up and I was like, oh, like I woke up, felt good. I had good sleep. I felt like I ate right before. I felt like I had a ton of energy. And then I just took that first freaking rack out and I'm like, oh God, this feels heavy as hell.
Well, then you need a better setup.
Oh, I know. We've discussed
It feels
this.
heavy. It's the setup. Like I don't know what else to tell you.
I have. Yeah, I'm trying. Fucking gotta get it better. I gotta get it better.
Everybody's trying.
Gotta get it better because I need 300 so bad I can taste it. God dang. Today was not it. It was not it.
It was not it. I benched with the wraps for the first time the other day. That was interesting. I don't know if I noticed much.
I've started to. I don't know. I had mine tight today and I was like, I just don't feel it today. I just don't feel like the wrist wraps are doing anything either. So I even watched the Dave Tate video to confirm I was doing my wrist wraps right. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of this. But it was just my entire setup sucked. But we're coming for it still. There's room for progress. It's not a fail just because I didn't do what I wanted to today. So
You're only 1 rep shy. I think you're only supposed to do 4 reps.
yeah. Yeah. I was like,
have an AMRAP.
I know. I was looking for the AMRAP and I'm like, oh yeah, we're bad clients. We don't get those anymore.
Nobody does.
Well, that's why it's important to write good programs.
Literally the same thing across the board. Every person.
Isn't that funny how like when you write a program in your head, it just completely makes sense to you? Like you write it out, you read it, you're like, oh yeah, this is gold, and then like it can just be completely.
Well, no, it was an experiment. I wanted to see what people did if I gave them an AMRAP, and they fucked it up every time.
When people see AMRAP, though, they literally are gonna die.
I get it. I understand. But I would even emphasize in all capital letters as many good reps as possible.
It did not say good. It did not.
Yours didn't. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yours did not, but there were lots that did.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say mine did not say as many good reps as possible.
You get version 0.001. Like, you get the ones that, like, if I was, instead of the golden tablet version, you get, like, the fucking chipped out of stone.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Like, oh, can't. There's a typo. We'll get that next run through. It's okay.
I do that a lot, too. Kids are like, did you mean to write this? And I'm like, no, that's okay. That's sorry. I'm better now. Here's and then I'll plug it back in. I'm like,
I don't know. There's just a lot to programming sometimes, and you don't miss the tiny things that you've changed over time.
Right. Because to me, I have just big templates of stuff, and I'm just like slowly manipulating and saving.
A Word document with all my workout cards in it.
Yeah. Those things are sweet. Yeah, I love those things. When you were doing those on True Coach, I liked those things a lot.
They're in the app, dude. You realize that, right?
They're down there on the extras, right? Or something like that.
You just go to exercise notes. Brings up the whole workout card.
Yeah, I know. The way you had them before were kind of interesting. I just liked the visual. I don't know.
What visual? What do you? I don't understand.
Didn't you have like a? I thought you had like a picture or something with it. Maybe I'm crazy.
Or what?
Maybe they were written out differently. I don't know. Anyway, I'm losing my mind.
They've only gotten better. I feel like. I don't know.
Oh, really? Have they, buddy? Mr. Forgot to write good reps. Get your life together.
Well, I just figured everyone would stop once the reps got shitty. That was my bad on the assumption.
Well, we're trying to do our best for you over here.
Everyone gets obsessed with numbers that don't mean anything. And I'm like,
Oh,
what the fuck does this number matter?
I'm obsessed with effort, so I'm just like, well, I'm gonna give Alex everything until I die on this bar. Here we go. Here's 8 reps. If I get
I don't know if
crunched,
you need to do that. That doesn't really.
Yeah, it's just
the goal is to just get better each time. So
true.
If you add 5 pounds, you're getting around the same number of reps.
It's progressive overload. Yay! We did it.
Yeah, like the easiest, but everyone's like, "Oh, I got to get this number." I'm like, "Where does it say that?"
I'm glad that you.
I go, yeah, it says AMRAP. It doesn't I don't.
I'm glad you clarified the rep ranges though. That made a lot of more sense in my brain. As far as like total reps, that made more sense to me for some reason. I don't know why, but it did. I was like, oh, it clicked.
That one little chart. It's really, really valuable, but nobody understands it.
Yeah, I was just looking at it in terms of the last set, so I messed that up. But but I should have known. Like, duh. Well, it's the chart is based on total amount of reps within the working set. You dumb.
It even says that. It says total reps.
I know, dude. My brain. I know.
They like use reps and sets like interchangeably almost in explanation of it, and it's confusing.
Yeah.
Damn Soviets.
They ruin everything. Freaking commies.
But yeah, there's probably a lot of people out there that could benefit from studying Prilipin's chart. A little egg for you guys to go look for. Golden nugget.
I don't think half the people in this thing would even know what Prilipin's chart is.
Prilipin's chart is the holy grail.
Holy grail. Yeah,
It is very useful when it comes to programming.
Could probably just pull it up for these people. Can be used in a lot of different ways. It's very highly debated all the time too.
What's debated about it?
What's optimal for the right populations? What's not optimal for the right population? Should you do these lifts under these percentages? Should you not do these like just things like that? Like you should never do a deadlift at 75%.
I would like to hear some of these arguments because they're not.
I think the big one is like they're like, well, you shouldn't do deadlifts at that intensity at this many reps because it could be bad for XYZ, like your back and your posture and your spine. I'm like,
well, there's a range,
right?
So like deadlifts, and if you look at it as an inverse relationship, the higher the percentage you go, the lower the reps will go.
Correct.
I mean, you probably shouldn't try to do like touch and go deadlifts above 90%. Probably just treat those as 3 individual movements.
I think a lot of people do, but a lot of people also don't.
I think powerlifters do.
Correct.
But
trying to get this.
They always try to go fast.
Trying to get this
fast. I want to go fast.
You're like on speed work, especially.
Yeah, well, that's fun thing, right? I learned how fast deadlifts are going to be at a 90% and above, and it's like, oh, okay, speed work doesn't necessarily have to be as fast as I'm trying to make it. Yes, it needs to be as fast as possible, but I'm like, man, that seems slow. And you look at it, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty fast for a deadlift.
Yeah, I think a lot of that gets lost. Also, like people are just trying to take advantage of the overspeed eccentric too.
How many people have done a grinder and understand like, oh, this is what a maximal effort end feels like. So a little bit faster just means to actually just continue through it without any type of, almost like there's no bands on the bar.
Right. I think Adam was talking about the other day. He took the bands off and did a speed set with just straight width the other day. And he's like, I think I hurt myself because I was trying to accelerate like I was through bands and like forgot that there's a decel. Like it like hurt my hip a little bit because because they're the amount of weight, because he's used to the bands slowing it down for him essentially. So he was pulling like he was pulling against bands, and it was like the speed that hurt him, not the weight. But for anybody that's looking on the podcast later, I've got Prilipin's chart pulled up here. So if you're looking at percentage of 1 rep maxes here, so this is the percentage of the weight you'd be using. The reps per set, you can do anywhere from 3 to 6. Total optimal range, 24 reps is the optimal. That doesn't mean you have to do 24. You can do anywhere from this rep range, 18 to 30. And then it just kind of, the reps go down as the percentages go up. Reps per set goes down as the percentages go up. Total reps obviously are going to go down. So when you do 1 rep maxes and you're above this 90%, Reps per set 1 to 2. Optimal reps 7. Rep per range though you can go 4 to 10. So optimal training.
That the optimal for this is Olympic level athletes.
Yeah, this was all based upon Olympic lifts and things like that, correct?
Well, just the athletes that were trying to make the Olympics.
Right. So
that's a different caliber. They were on drugs and all kinds of other stuff.
Right. So take those with a grain of salt and don't take them as the complete word and gospel.
Yeah, like you could start at the low end of the percentages and the low end of reps and build your way up.
I do that.
Overload yourself with more volume.
I try to do that with young kids for sure. Also try to do that with dynamic work.
Start on the lower end of things instead of just like taking what Louis said percentage wise and making it have to be that every time. So learn the skill at a lower percentage before you bump the intensity and the weight up.
Kind of like the 5th set thing of using the more accommodating resistance during peaking.
Say that again? The 5th set?
Yeah, so with the 5th set method, you're using accommodating resistance only when you're peaking. You're not using it really any other time.
Oh, okay.
Kids who don't know how to even move straight weight, you're just practicing more of those movements.
What's his reasoning behind that?
Because most people can't do it.
Like pull through the bands? Is that what you're trying to talk about?
I've not seen anybody do dynamic effort work correctly except for people that are like really seasoned. I've never seen a kid do it right. Good form. What a thing. And they're not even hitting the percentages that they're supposed to most of the time, right? Like you should be following, you have to squat 400, you got to pull 400, you got to bench 300.
Before you should even touch it. Yeah.
I would think so. That's what it was all made for.
Right.
If you're doing less and you're still getting something out of it, that's fine. But can you expect the same results when it's not talking about the same thing?
So do you believe that, I mean, I know some people try to use lower, they kind of,
I guess you could say they kind of get their feet wet with like lower amounts of weight and lower amounts of band tension for their dynamic effort work. So they're just kind of teaching them that skill at a lower age so they understand the technique behind it and how to do it correctly when the time comes for them to actually have to pull those kind of weights off the floor with that kind of band resistance. Like, is that something you can teach kids from a young age? Because I know coaches do it.
You could do it with like explosive strength. You're just probably not working speed strength.
Right. So it'd be like
you're working a different thing.
You know, like a kid, maybe like a young kid, like a 14-year-old kid, maybe they only deadlift like, I don't know, let's just say 275. So could you go half of that and throw a red band on and just start to teach technique from dynamic effort and just treat it as explosive strength? If it's moving at the speeds.
What do you think you're going to gain from that?
Well, if you think that that's the method that you need to use to develop explosive strength or speed strength, and that's how you run things,
well, explosive strength is 0 to 30% of your 1 rep max, roughly.
Yeah. Well, there's it also
body weight.
I think in one of the books it says anywhere from like, I think special strength, it's like 30 to 80% also. So
I mean, technically, it starts blending into power and speed strength, right? Power is like that, like 30 to 80% range almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
everybody
speed
gets
strength's also in there around 60 to 80% or 60 to 85.
Yeah. So there's just different,
like it's a gradient, right?
Yeah, like different skills.
Them, so,
yeah.
Like, do you need to make them do power cleans if they're doing deadlifts with bands? No. If you're just trying to make them more explosive, though, we'll just start with jumps and sprints.
Yep.
Them strong as shit.
Yep. I know.
If you want to use accommodating resistance for the stress things, where it's less stress, it could maybe have some value, I guess.
Yeah. I've seen it being used for them to learn how to be explosive out of the bottom of the lifts too, like to learn how to create that speed when they go to their max effort work off the floor, things like that. My dogs are having a fight right in front of me here. Holy crap, you little turds.
I don't know. There's just so many things you can do to get strong. I guess depth kids are probably some of the only ones I've seen that do the speed work.
I know it, like when I was at OPP.
Those kids are strong as fuck already too.
Yeah. Well, at OPP they introduced them to speed work in like the first
speed work that they would ever do would be like 135 on the bar with some red bands just to try to teach them the skill once they met like a certain strength threshold. And so he kind of progresses his speed work that way, where he's like, this amount of weight, if you can do this amount of weight, your speed work is this with this kind of band. And then once you get to this threshold, it's like, we're going to use this amount of weight with these kind of bands. And then once you get to an elite level, or what he considers to be an advanced level, it's like, now we're going to put the green bands over the bar. So, and then it just kind of progresses from there, from like red to blue. You just kind of progress through it as your levels of strength increase.
I just feel like the movements are hard enough as it is. Like, do your jumps, lift heavy, and try to move the weight fast when you're lifting heavy. Like, you're going to get this. And Ed Cohen never did any dynamic work.
Right.
That makes sense. Like, I don't know. And you can still do speed training with straight weight.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of ways to spin. He always said too, it was a way for him to easily develop acceleration strength, like accelerating strength.
Starting strength?
Well, he said acceleration, like an easy way to develop acceleration. Because I think Louis talks about how it develops.
Force development?
Acceleration. The word was. I'm just telling you what he
I understand,
said.
but you have starting strength, right, which is out of the blocks.
Yeah. Well,
But
Louis
your
talks
rate
about
of force development would explain how fast you can get to your top end.
right. I don't know. I'm just telling. Like Louis talks about accelerative strength. The bands develop accelerative strength, is what he calls it in the literature somewhere.
Where does he say that? I think you're making shit up, man.
No, I'm not. I'm not making it up.
I know you get over speed eccentrics from him, so like you can teach your body to move faster.
Oh boy, hang on.
But to
Let
me,
me.
that takes such a high level of technique that like you should probably have to follow the 400-pound rule and the 300-pound rule to do that.
Yes, I would agree.
To get to those levels, you have to have good technique. Like it's just, like, I don't know.
Let me find it. Book of Methods. Let me look at my drive here. I'm not making that up. I've heard that, damn it. Somewhere in there.
There are 7 types of strength.
I took it in my notes. Hold on. It's somewhere in here. My damn dogs don't quit fighting. Freaking dogs. Good God.
According to the Ace Fitness one, there's agile strength, strength endurance, explosive strength, maximum strength, relative strength, speed strength, and starting strength.
Super training lists a bunch of them though too. Hold on, I'll find it. Good Lord. Gotta go searching through my literature.
Like I see people, bands that have no business using bands, like just get strong first.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to make them do, but find in documents. Why is it not typing for me?
Like none of the people I've seen that make the freaks has said anything about bands.
Right.
They box squat and jump and sprint.
It's Depu's band, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just follows the method, so
Right.
which is fine. But those kids also are already really strong, so I don't know when he makes them do that.
Yeah, I kind of want
probably
to
start with chains before you go to bands.
Yep. Well, the bands they're pretty. I mean, they're taxing too. Like they tax you pretty heavily.
Pretty aggressive.
Yeah, they're extra. They're a little extra. If you've never done bands before, tell me how you feel the next day after you do them for the first time.
Those Green West Side ones, those things suck.
Dude, those are. I've done dynamic effort with those before too.
I've been doing on my deadlifts.
Yeah.
Last time I did them, I made myself like a quarter blind for like 30 minutes.
Okay.
You ever do that before?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Or like make yourself blind from lifting so heavy?
I have not done that. When you said that you lost your peripheral the other day, I was like, what?
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Those fucking green bands.
You just literally couldn't see out of the right side or left?
It was, yeah, this corner of my eye. I would like look to my right and it looked like I was tripping. Like nothing was still. It was like all moving and like out of the focus. I was like, it's fucked up.
What the heck? That's crazy.
Well, maybe doing a heavy deadlift session fasted was not the best idea.
Oh, that's a little brutal.
Might have been. I think that's what I'm going to chalk it up for. If it happens again, though, I might be a little concerned. I was like, man, I hope this doesn't stick like this because this is annoying. I just kept looking to the right and it was just like all, I don't know. It's like those fucking crazy Instagram reels that look like you're tripping. Like it was just in that corner of my eye. I was
Would
like,
you
"This is fucked
quit
up."
posting those dang things on my thing? Every time I watch one of those, I'm just like rolling.
Fine.
Oh my god.
It's cool. You don't actually have to do the drugs. You can just watch.
That one was like a water slide, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, that was cool, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put this on the screen for people to see for the podcast later, and I'm just going to read it actually here in a second. So I found this in the Book of the Methods, so don't take my word for it. Take what this says.
I'm happy. That's fine.
Just corroborating my sources so I don't sound like a jackass on this podcast. Okay, so
I'm fine with being wrong. I just want proof.
this is from the dynamic effort section of the Book of Methods, which I understand is a little older, but it says speed training. The heading is speed training. It says at Westside we have speed day for squatting, deadlifting, and benching. This is also referring to as the dynamic method. That is, we use submaximal weights with maximal speeds. It is designed to develop a fast rate of force in minimal time. Yes, we all understand that. We know that. Okay. Dr. Ben Tabachnik, sure, has said that it is common for these athletes to become easily adapted to quickness exercises. This must be addressed either by varying intensities or by changing the apparatus you are using. We do both by using a 3-week pendulum wave. We all know this, mostly with weights 50, 55, 60. This also entails changing part of the resistance by adding chains or bands. We all know this. This is essential to completely developing speed strength. And in the parentheses, it says, i.e., starting and accelerating strength. So that's just from his book.
I think he's trying to explain to you what its starting strength is.
Yeah, probably is. So that's probably just the word that I used for it because, yeah, which makes sense because that's within the first contraction that comes right off the floor. Like the first instant that contraction and impulse gets sent. You're trying to
Shooting
improve.
out of the blocks.
Yeah, you're trying to improve that capacity. So, and with the bands on there, it's going to improve that because you have to accelerate for longer. Because if you don't and you try to just stop, those bands are going to go nice knowing you.
Chains as well.
Chains as well. Correct. Little less so though. Little less aggressive.
But any deadlift is going to improve like starting strength.
Right. Just because of the way it's set up and how it works. Because it's got to be, because if you go into a deadlift and you're not prepared to get that thing off the ground quickly, it ain't coming off the ground. I think speed is lost on a lot of people when it comes to.
That's why I feel like if you just combine the jumps with the big movements, like a lot of these guys do, that's where success lies.
Right. That's why I like the contrast pairings with them too, because the special strength talks about that.
The skills that Depp does to get kids to listen, and maybe you can teach them the dynamic effort.
I don't think
I don't know if he does the jumps.
I don't think he has. He just tells them like, "Hey, listen here, you mother effers. Like we're doing this. It's my way or the highway." Like there is no like.
He's not quite like that around the kids, but yeah.
Well, I know, but you know what I mean. Like it's his way or the highway type of mentality.
Right, but they do it.
You're right. Well, because they see his results, I would imagine.
I see people have no business with having any type of accommodating resistance on anything. They should barely just have the bar loaded, and there's all kinds of weird shit.
Right. So this talks about. I was just kind of scrolling as we were talking here, and it talks about like a 300-pound squatter, what they would use on a speed day. So I mean, it at least talks about that.
Is that the barrier? 300 pounds? Then?
I don't know. It just says
it's gonna be a barrier, I feel like.
It says advanced system for beginners. I hear all the time that Westside training is for the advanced, and those only top 10 lifters can do the training that is required at Westside. It is true that our training is advanced, but it is also great for beginners. Why start out wrong or start with a program that will yield only small results? Our stats show that we have developed 63 elite lifters, which is freaking incredible. Many of those got their start here. World record holders, Heath, Patterson, Fusner, Dimmel, Halbert, Vogelpool, as well as many women. Here goes Louis on a rant. It's true that we have many advanced methods for all ages. It's also true that I totaled elite in 5 weight classes, all USPF meets, and have never heard. Oh, this is kind of back to what you were saying about Cohen. It's also true that I totaled elite in 5 weight classes. This is Louis talking, and have never heard of chains, bands, circumath, pendulum waves, or delayed transformation. However, I had the common sense to learn and read. And then he said, what Chuck Vogelpool did to make his first elite total in 1988 is the basis for what he does today. Because the West Side system is mathematical, it is based on a percentage of your limit strength. It can be used by a 300-pound squatter or a 900-pound squatter. They would both train with the same percent. They would use a 3-week wave. The percents range from 50 to 60. A 300-pound squatter would use 150 to 180 pounds on speed day. So he also says that these weights will ensure correct form. It is a must for beginners to learn how to do power lifts with proper form. So that kind of goes back to what you're saying about you've never seen them do it with the right technique because they're not being built to do them with the right technique in the first place.
Well, I don't see anybody that I'm referring to people that just take bands and think they're doing stuff that they're supposed to be doing. I don't take the time to learn anything about the conjugate system.
True.
Right.
Like, are we talking actual conjugate system or are we talking West Side conjugate system?
Any form of a conjugate system.
Okay, I just want to clarify. People get tussy if you start throwing that around the wrong way.
Everyone has their own form that does it. No, like that's the only person I've ever met that does the West Side one to a T.
So this question gets thrown around a lot. Like, what's your definition of the conjugate system? So, like, personally for you, because to me, it's pretty simple. It's just bringing up all levels of abilities at the same time.
A training sequence that brings up multiple capacities at once. Yes.
Yeah, but like, why is that so hard for people to grasp? Like, why do we still have people that are just like, no, we're gonna train this and train that and do Olympic lifts and.
Why do people want to train it differently? Because there is, I think, a level you get to where you have to be a little more specific and break it into like blocks.
Yeah. Like focusing on specific qualities during different blocks as compared to like other things during different time periods of the season or just their year in general.
Yeah, the younger the training age, the more broad it can be.
Yeah, you can do a lot. But like as they get closer, you have to tailor it a little bit more specific to what they need going into their seasons.
Potentially. Or as they get higher level of efficiency.
I get that question a lot from coaches. They're like, how do you know when they're like ready for advanced means and methods and things like that? And I'm like, what are your like KPIs and thresholds and stuff? And I'm like, it's more about like managing. Can they manage their workload and their volume a little bit better for me? I don't know. They're all like also if they're like
movement flow.
Yeah. Like, well, are they still progressing with what you're giving them too? So it's like if they're continuing to see progression out of what they're doing, then I would say that you don't need to try to like reinvent the wheel here. But everyone's got to be unique.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, yeah, but everyone's got to be unique now in this day and age. Instagram said so.
I don't know what Instagram says. Fuck Instagram.
You love them. That's your best friends. They're your favorite people. Since they shadow banned you.
Shadow ban.
Yeah, I was about to say since you're still shadow banned. Did you get shadow banned on Facebook and then got? No, it was the post on Instagram you told me about.
I got banned from Facebook years ago before I even fucking tried to take an ad out without confirming an email address, and they banned me on Facebook.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
That's me, dude. I didn't do anything else.
They thought you were
in the process of taking out an ad to pay for.
They thought you were a bot.
They banned me in the middle of it, and then every time I would create a different email address on that computer, it would ban me instantly.
They had your IP address. Oh, you can't get around it, man. Once they have your IP address, you're just done.
Yeah, I was like, this is interesting.
It's all over.
But that was cool.
Better move and change a different location.
Yeah, I don't know what to do then.
Do you feel like the blue check mark is worth paying for per month? Has it been beneficial to your profile?
Has it been worth it?
Yeah.
For me, it doubled my reach, but I don't know what it does for a normal person.
Yeah, like for you being obviously in the business of entrepreneurship, it doubled your reach. So like what did it just like instantly new people started following you, or like how did that work?
No. It doesn't work. It never works that way for me.
But does it put your accounts in front of the people that it needs to?
Maybe. I don't know.
Freaking come on, algorithm. Let us know.
Have I seen any instant thing from it? No, I don't know.
No, you don't think so?
There's so many goddamn things I do on Instagram. How am I going to know what one little thing is going to do?
I was just curious if it like they were like giving you the breakdown of like what it actually is, or like giving you some insights.
No.
They're just like, no, pay us this money, and
They
you don't
gave
know
the
where
blue
it's
check mark,
going.
So maybe when I like try to reach out and get new followers that way, and like do the actual networking thing, I have more credibility, I guess. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't go to the request box. Maybe it goes just straight to the inbox.
I was kind of wondering if it just like
But I
based
like
off
to think of
your
myself is like
based-
maybe that's what happens.
yeah, or based
don't
off your
know.
hashtags, like maybe like when someone clicks on that hashtag, it
Dude,
puts you
they
more towards the
changed how
top.
many you can put in the fucking comments again. So I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck the
Dude.
hashtags. All dumb.
Hey, they work for me. Like I had some people reach out because I used the Northwest Arkansas hashtag, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm from Northwest Arkansas." I clicked on the hashtag. I was like, "Sweet."
That's cool. I put all this like cities I would be willing to deal with around me, and I get dick.
That's what I do too, and yeah, that's like only a few times where it's ever worked out for me. But I don't. Again, I'm gonna start like showcasing what I do to Northwest Arkansas and not this immediate area because that's where all the Walton money is. So
This is my vehicle for internet stardom.
yeah,
YouTube, fuck Instagram.
YouTube. Yeah, I've been seeing your shorts on there. They just pop up all the time now. Here he is.
Do they? That's pretty cool.
Well, I'm subscribed to
The
you.
funny thing is, those are the ones the most popular ones are literally just things I'm putting in my exercise library.
Yeah, so it's already things that you're doing in it. Well, Adam said the same thing. Adam's like, dude, I get the most views off of me just putting an exercise on there because people will search those. They'll like search for something comparable. That's how
I
he
seem to just hit them at the right time when I do those.
What's your
know.
best short?
I get,
Like,
I don't know, like 700 or 1,000, I think. Nothing
that's not
crazy.
too bad.
For 185 subscribers, it's all right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I got a guy when I was doing deadlifts. He's like, "You should just use chains." I'm like, fuck me.
Here we go. They're
Can't
everywhere.
win. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
They're everywhere,
Doesn't matter
man.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you use bands? Chains are easier, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, it's a different resistance profile. So
Don't hurt his brain, dude. Come on now. Those people that post those things
I just left it. I don't. That's why I never get a rebuttal. That's fine.
Yeah. They're like, resistance profile? What's that?
Right.
Well, it's in Science and Practice. If you want to know, go look in Science and Practice. It's in there.
Yeah. But, but yeah, I get the best comments on YouTube. I was doing TRX rows or something, and someone's like, keep your head straight. I'm like, what?
Why? That's what you should say. Why?
What?
My brother did say that.
To get some engagement on there.
Yeah, that's the key. He said that because he paid someone to kind of like help him give him insightful things about how to run a good YouTube channel, and it's helped. Like he's got like 1 million views on one of his thing or something like that. Or it was a lot, but anyway, he was like, "Yeah, that's what you want. You want the interaction. You want people commenting, doing things like that. Because if it looks like it's something interesting and it's getting traffic to their site, then they're gonna put that to the forefront. That's all they want.
The guy that just got charged with fucking wrecking his airplane. Some dude did it for his YouTube channel. Fucking jumped out of the plane.
What?
Malfunction.
Was it like one of those little personal planes?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, did it for the
like in fucking California or New Mexico or Nevada somewhere.
It's like when we had Vine. Did it for the Vine.
Yeah, basically, right?
I
TikTok's like a shittier Vine.
Well, some would argue better, but I liked Vine. I liked Vine because it was short, simple, to the point. But TikTok's like, here, listen to my thing for 3 minutes. No, I'm good. Or watch me do my TikTok video. Or my dance or whatever. Like, have you seen the ones where people catch people doing the TikTok videos? They're like dancing in their car or something, and it shows.
Don't watch TikTok,
dude, it's hilarious.
For America.
There's 2 versions of TikTok. Did you know this?
There is not.
Yes, there is.
What is the second version?
China has their own version of TikTok, bro. Yeah.
Well, that's not really 2 different versions. They just allow different things in different parts of the world.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess you could say that.
They just change the algorithm for their people to make them smart, and they take ours and make us fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's working so well, it's terrifying.
Isn't it a Chinese run company, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's why. Why do you think I don't use it?
Yeah. Well, let them have my identity. It's fine. I'm moving to China.
I've always been a firm believer is you vote with your money. So that's where do you spend your energy? Like that's how you vote.
That's an interesting take. That's a hot take.
not a fucking hot take. That's
Yes.
how it works. If you didn't give these cunts
Oh.
money, they wouldn't be able to be in office. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, well, most people don't see it that way. They still think that they're fighting the good fight morally and ethically. And I'm like, no, they're
I'll
not.
fill out the ballot, but it's not doing much.
Yeah, I mean, my vote doesn't go very far, but it clears my conscience.
When they rig another election for like the 18th time in a
They
row,
wouldn't do that.
they've done it since after JFK, probably.
Yeah.
Like, all right, one got away from us. We can't let this
I was
happen again.
about to say, why do you think they put a bullet in him? Because they're like,
Well, yeah. He didn't want the Federal Reserve. He didn't want any more secret societies. They're like, yep, this guy's not playing for the right team.
Yeah, see you, buddy. They need to release the Kennedy files for sure. Bring them on out.
It'll never happen.
Well, they passed it. They flipped the bill down to like 25 more years. The Biden administration said, nope. No, thank you. No condemning
All
evidence
kinds of
against
things
this
they're
guy.
supposed to do. It's never going to happen.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Run the country correctly. That'd be cool.
I mean, it happened for a short while, and nobody liked it. Everyone hated it. Making money was not cool, apparently.
No, because man in red hat says angry things to people.
I mean, I didn't pay attention to social media at
Dude,
that point in time.
you
All
wanna
I
hear-
know is my life was much more simple.
I had a client walk in today with one of those red hats, and I just thought it was a "Make America Great" hat again, which is fine. Like, I don't care. And it was a "Make Merkins Great Again" hat.
What's Mertens?
You don't know what a Merkin is?
No, what's Merkin?
Google it right now. Google it. I just want to see the shock on your face. Just Google Merkin. Oh no, you're gonna laugh. This is great.
Like a public wig?
Yeah,
Did I spell it right?
but Merkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, what I didn't understand is why it was showing me a picture of a person
Yeah.
with a beard,
Yeah.
and then that's
Google's trying to
pretty
be polite. But yeah, he had a hat that said that. And what was better was he was like, which you just have to know these two, they're awesome. He was like, yeah, my wife bought me the hat. She loved it. I was like, yes, that makes it so much better. It was awesome.
Well, everyone, I hope you Google what a Merkin is.
Yeah. I had some people that didn't know. That was kind of funny.
I've never fucking heard of that. Where does that
Really?
even come from? Like,
I don't know.
man. Why would you have that?
That's what I
What?
said. I'm like, why would people want that in the first place? But for those
Like,
of
I
you who
thought-
don't know, you have to go Google
One of
it.
the things
but-
that pornography did was get rid of all that jazz.
Yeah, you would think, but you would
Side
think.
effect of that was no more pubic lice. Fun fact for everyone.
Oh God, I laughed so hard when I saw that hat. When I actually
Merkin grading.
saw what it was, because I was like, oh yeah, it's a MAGA hat. And he's like, it's not a MAGA hat. Read it. And I'm like, okay. Died. Oh, it was hilarious. He is quite, dude. That guy should write a book. He has some stories. He's awesome. 2 weeks away for your meet, huh?
Yeah, just 2.5 or so.
Big total's coming.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll see.
I do like how you put, because it makes me feel the same way when like I feel like my numbers are getting good, and then you just see like what you said, Jarvis just casually squatting 1,000 pounds. And it's
Kind of like what?
cool.
And then
Yep.
they're like, oh, those are the good numbers. I'm like, who the fuck are you telling good numbers to? I know
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, like you're trying to fool me. Like, okay, cool, you're trying to be nice, but at the same time, like, okay, I'm not naive. And like kids say that stuff all the time. Kids are like, oh yeah, you're getting strong, you're getting this. I'm like, I'm weak, like really weak. And they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, yes, you don't understand. Like,
I mean, I guess we are comparing ourselves to like 1 or 2% of the world, but still.
well, but that's what we're chasing, and I'm gonna continue to chase. But yeah, like
I'm
it's,
never going to reach John Hack levels. I can tell you that. I don't think.
what's that? Have you heard the video of the voiceover that's like, if you can bench 3 plates and squat 4 plates and deadlift 4 plates, you're better
You're
than.
in like the top 5% of the fucking humanity.
Isn't
I
that
get it.
crazy? Wow.
No, because my whole philosophy is like your minimum effective dose should get you in the top 5%.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, those are very achievable. Although my bench press seems like 315 is never going to be achievable, but we're going to get it.
Because you're a mental midget about it.
Oh, I hate that freaking lift. God, I hate it.
There's one thing I've never doubted myself in is these stupid lifts.
It's a squat's fine. Deadlift, I feel like I could lift up the whole world, even though I know I can't. I still feel like I can. Like if it's on the bar, I feel like I could pull it. But then like I get on the bench and I'm like, crap. So it's just like, well, okay, here we go. Squat's fine. Like I can grind some squats out, or like I feel strong under a squat. Deadlift,
I
yep.
hate squats. I even did 80% today, and I'm like, this sucks.
Is that your least favorite? People ask me all the time, and I'm like, mine's probably bench, but
They've always been so hard.
bench should be a better lift, and I should feel better about it, but it's just not. It's never been. Mentally, just not a very good lift for me. But squats are okay. I don't like them, but dude, deadlift, that's it. That's the one.
Hey, can you explain this to me? Why does everybody think peaking you're supposed to feel like shit?
I don't know, because like I felt like tapering was a real thing where you're supposed to take volume and things like that down and feel your best before you go into the meet. Not like how high can I push it a week before the meet. But
I've had everyone like either tell me like, "Oh, yep, getting ready for a competition. I don't feel so good going it like, the worst is over." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And then like someone asked me like, "Oh, you feeling kind of beat up?" Getting it. I'm like, "No."
like what
Not at all.
phases are they? Like are they doing like circumaxes and things like that? Or like
Nothing that technical, no. Like strongmen will tell me like, "Oh, yeah, I'm feeling beat up going into con." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
these are just random people telling you this?
Sure, we could say they're random people. It's just people that talk about getting ready for competitions.
It sounds like people that don't know how to manage their volume and their stress very well. It sounds like you're doing a pretty good job of that yourself. So, I mean,
I just take 2 days off in between lifts. I think that's the
I don't think I would say that you're a very
and my
small.
program does intentionally get a little bit lighter, but I don't know.
What does your last week look like before you go into the competition? Like you said, you're 2 weeks
Yeah.
out.
The one SBD day of the whole prep.
Yeah. So it's
all
not.
band work.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think a lot of people are doing that. I think they're just trying to be like, they're trying to win the meet the week before. Like they're trying to see what they can
Some
do.
people take a week off. It's just like leading up to that, they're not like progressively giving themselves any type of reduction in volume except for the week before.
Right. There's no taper. Like they have no taper period.
The delayed training effect takes longer than a week though.
Yeah. It usually takes at least 2 to 4. That's kind of what the literature says, but yeah, I don't know, man. It sounds like they're not getting optimized programming for themselves. It sounds like. So
It seems to be a common thing I hear with strength sports anyway. Like, oh yeah, I'm feeling kind of beat up. Going into taper or whatever. Like, at any point, really. Like, why should you be beat up? I saw Greg Penor post a thing today about it. Like, I did this, and I'm like, yeah, okay, dude. I can understand you were able to do this feeling like shit. But wouldn't it have been better if you didn't feel like shit?
I mean, you would think so, realistically.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm always trying to cut volume down the last 2 to 3 weeks ish for my athletes right before they go into their season. Do a lot of like explosive things instead of a lot of like.
I guess I also do a lot of cardio.
You do a lot of cardio. I would say there's your winner right there. Is like if you compare the amount of cardio work that you're doing compared to what these people are doing, they're probably a 10% of what you're doing.
66% of my workouts are recovery workouts.
Yeah. But it's probably the opposite for other people. Or not even that. I would say it's probably far less. But you're doing
100 and 0.
Yeah, well, probably. Yeah. Like how many powerlifters, the meme is like, I lift weights. I don't do cardio, like you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're doing cardio every day. You literally do it every day. I tell people that too. I'm like, if you want to lift and then you want to go do some kind of like, just some steady state cardio at the end of your day, whatever, like it's not going to impact you. You're fine. Like go for it. But
You actually needed to get to a certain level of strength. It's not going to be possible without it.
I would, yeah. Well, and that goes back to the whole GPP thing, correct?
I haven't gotten weaker from doing it. I can tell you that.
Well, I mean, every time I see people increase their levels of strength in the first 12 weeks with me, it's not because I'm giving them really anything neurologically stressing. It's like, we're just increasing your capacity. And they're like, oh, that's more than I've ever done before. And I'm like, that's just 12 weeks. Imagine what it's going to look like in 1 year. So, I mean, I went through that stage with you and I was like, oh dear God, I'm going to die. I'm not going to make it. But yeah, my strength came out of that a lot better. I was like, oh, okay. And then I felt fine. That was the biggest one. I felt way better in between my lifts and still do. So,
Right, like you can go into the workouts feeling good and not feel like shit.
yep.
My workouts are clearly still hard if I make myself partially blind. So like,
Your
no
level
lack
of
of effort on my end.
yeah, so the level of recovery has to be pretty high. That's yeah. Alex is passing out during his lifts.
fucked me up
Everyone?
for like a day. That workout wrecked me.
Yeah, that was the deadlift day. You said?
Bands, dude. Well, yeah, I did 95%.
How long?
I did 475, and that was 10 pounds under my gym PR. I'm like, yeah, this is 95%.
Sure.
And I proceeded to do 85% for speed work.
Yeah, those green bands, they hurt a little bit.
That was the day I asked about the RPE thing in the chat and just got form critiqued.
That was a weird one too.
I was like, guys, this is 10 pounds under the most I've ever. Or
But guys, I just wanted to know what your RPE thing was. How did you see the video of oh God, what's the starting strength guy's name? God, what is that guy's name?
Mark Ripito.
Ripito, yeah. The video on like RPE is bullshit and all that.
Of course, he would hate on somebody else for doing something.
He's just a hot take person now. He doesn't actually do anything specific.
Right. I don't understand why people don't like it. I mean, it's not.
It's
universal,
arbitrary. Yeah, it's arbitrary, but
if they don't have anything to compare it to,
right.
I don't know.
I think it's because some people get upset because they don't think people actually know what a true 10 is. So if it's like, if you're
didn't
telling
know
me,
until you came out here.
right, agreed. God bless America. I don't know. I say that the bench press, the last single bench press I did was a 10. That was a 10. I'm comparing the two, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as like how I felt in the moment. But yeah, I think people get upset because it's like, well, they don't really truly know what a 10 is. So when they tell you it's a 7, it's not really a 7. It's like, well, it's a 7 for them. Like it's kind of like Hoff talks about like 1,000 pounds to him may weigh like 300 pounds to you, but they're still, the intensity is still the intensity compared to the person that's
crazy
doing it. 1,000 pounds.
I feel like 300.
Oh dear God. There's
Even like
no
4,
way.
5.
He's completely lying when he says that. I feel like my 1,000 feels like your 300. Bullshit, buddy. I'm calling bullshit.
I'm not. I bet it does.
God. I mean, yeah, because that's intensity. Like that's a 10. Maybe for him it's a 15. I don't know, but like,
Not a 15.
jeez, a Lou.
It's probably like a 7. He
What
could
do you-
probably triple 1,000.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Maybe 1,000. Not his top number. What's his-
1,000 is 1,300.
He did 13. That was his top.
I think so.
Yeah, so maybe he could triple it. He could probably triple 1,000. Yeah.
Seems reasonable, doesn't it?
Who's the guy on the bench press I keep seeing that does like 1,000
Jimmy
pound?
Cole.
Dude, that guy's a monster.
He just
What?
did like 1320 or some shit for reps.
Oh my Lord.
Something like that. I just saw it.
I feel
That's
like
crazy. Guy's
that ma-
drug free.
yeah, that's even more impressive. Oh my Lord. I'm not putting 1,000 pounds over my neck. Sorry, that's not happening.
Man, yeah, I don't know.
That's a little. Yeah, that's.
He has a 1,400 pound bench press.
Gosh, that's
I
incredible.
was like, well, it's in a suit, and I'm like, I don't really give a
It
shit.
doesn't matter. He's putting
Suit's not making up 1,000 pounds.
No. It's 1,400 pounds, and he's willing to put his freaking head on the line to do it.
On the line, literally.
God.
Imagine that. Oh. You ever see that video of the USC guy who fucking claps his windpipe with like 225?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oof.
What was that, McKnight?
1,400.
His last name was McKnight. I
Was it
remember that.
McKnight?
I think that's what his name was. I remember that guy.
Terrifying.
Played for the Jets. He made a
Talk
comeback.
about he's in the weight room, okay, guys? Pay attention.
Learn how to spot. Learn how to
They
catch
won't
the
care
weight.
if your balls are in their face if it means their neck is not broken.
That's always a hard one for young kids. Oh, his stuff's right here, and I'm like, it's better than you
I saw a
dying.
video of a couple on Instagram working out, and this dude just full on just teabagging this girl basically. I'm like, is that really? You think that's helping her bench press right now?
They do it for views, man. Those people are doing it for views.
You think?
Oh yeah.
It
There's
didn't make me want to keep watching. It was kind of weird.
well, you and I understand there's a culture to it, and like that's above. That's not normal. Other people are just like, oh, that's hilarious. But that also
The chick was pretty strong. I was just like, this seems like it'd be distracting to have someone junk right in your
it's
face.
clickbait. It's all clickbait, bro. I mean, you clicked on it, so
I didn't click. I was scrolling.
what?
Much different.
Something
I
in
was
the
scrolling and I
algorithm
saw
found it.
People that were strong, and I'm like, oh, let's check this out. And then I see a bench press spot where dude is just teabagging this girl, and I'm like,
Love it.
nowhere in a competition is that going to happen. So I don't understand.
Oh, because they're up on the platform. They're well above you at that point.
Well, even like our benches have a platform kind of, and I have to like, I'll take a step back, let them get set up, and then I'll step on the platform. Like,
Right. Yeah. Shouldn't be an issue at that point, but hey,
you wouldn't
clickbait.
think.
No, it's clickbait. YouTube wins again.
And whatever assholes got this whole singlet thing enforced for powerlifting, stupid.
What do you
Yes,
mean?
they used to wear parachute pants back in the day so you couldn't see depth, or if their ass came off the bench.
Oh, a little deceiving there, huh? Trying to bend the rules. People cheat? No way.
Come on.
No way.
Competition? No one cheats in competition.
People don't cheat. Come on. What? That wouldn't be fair.
Fascinating.
I want a Major League Baseball drug league. Like, let them all juice out and just hit the ball 550 feet.
That'd be awesome.
Just make a
Let's go
separate
back to
league.
those days.
Metal bats and
Only time I
juiced
owned
out
baseball
freaks.
jerseys is when Mark McGuire was cranking home runs.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I was a kid when that happened. It was awesome.
It was so cool.
But let's just make a juice league. 600 feet fence. Let them
600-foot fence. You think they could clear it?
with metal bats.
Metal bats.
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of the metal bat though.
I mean, I might like the sound of it if I get to see it go 650.
Is it really going to send the ball that much further?
Randy Johnson. So here's the story. I've heard this before. Randy Johnson, when he was playing, he was just a pitcher, right? He took BP with a metal
Just a
bat.
pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a freak athlete, but like,
Dude was 6'10" and could throw 100-mile-an-hour smoke, dude. What are you talking about, Justice? Dude,
yeah, but he's not like your prototypical, like,
you
you don't
see him obliterate that fucking bird?
That's one of the greatest videos ever. But
Dude.
he took BP a couple times with him. He pulled out a metal bat just for fun. Have you ever seen the Diamondbacks Stadium? How it's like 420 to center and it's like a really tall green wall or whatever. He was piping them off the top of that, like with no problem, with a metal bat. So it's like, okay, then you get some of these guys that can actually do some damage and are hitters and just jacked and roided out of their mind. Yeah, 600, 650 is in the equation.
If you were a good hitter in college, it doesn't mean anything.
Not consistently true, because most of the time those guys are going to have inflated numbers compared to the rest of the league. Like a 500 hitter might correlate to a 300 hitter in the big leagues, or 450 or whatever. I don't know.
Big drop.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's metal. Metal's a little scary, dude. They had to change the legalization of like what bats were legal back when I was right when I graduated high school. They changed what was and wasn't legal for metal bats because they were getting too hot. And like the home run doubles, the numbers in the college game were just like going through the freaking roof, like powering it. Because these
sounds
bats,
like a fun time. Let's get back to that.
Dude, those bats were like trampolines. Like it hit the it was unreal what was happening. So they like the first year they implemented the BB core system, like power numbers got cut in half or something like that. It was insane. Just no fun. But they did it for safety concerns, obviously, because like now that's the thing. If you did the juice league at 650 feet, like I would say get rid of the pitcher and just make a machine throw it. You know what I mean? Like
a machine. Like a Sony pitch. Like you sit there with the controller.
Yeah.
And you put the fucking thing in the strike zone.
Exactly.
And the computer delivers it.
Yeah.
I could maybe be down with that.
You know what I mean? Because like I don't want to. If I'm a pitcher, I'm not going to want to be 60 feet away while these guys are worried out of their mind and swinging metal bats. Like I'm not going to.
You know what I never was good at in those stupid games is my pitcher never lasted till like the 7th inning. I never understood. Like, what do you mean you can't throw as hard as possible every time?
It's real life, brother. Come on now. They gotta relate it to real life because nobody throws more than like 5 innings anymore. So.
Well, I just didn't know that they weren't trying their hardest every pitch.
Well, you know, video games are like real life now. You know, it's
Like basketball, they don't play until the 4th quarter type of thing. Like,
that's just load management now. We don't actually play full seasons now.
I don't want to hear about load management.
Hey, the league is trying to find a way to where you can't even be a part of like the postseason honors and stuff like that if you don't play a certain amount of games.
Disrespectful load management is to people that want to see people play fucking games.
Yeah, Kobe talked about that. How like he said he never wanted to sit out because if that was the one time they ever got to see him live.
Yeah,
you know.
That's a big deal for some people.
Yeah, 1,000%. Emotional
Like,
connection.
I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money on a shitty basketball game, but
what? Why are capacities dropping? Like why is that a thing? You see what I'm saying? Like the quality of the athlete is getting better, but like yeah, that's so like. Well, it kind of goes back to like, are they not even? They're not forcing these people to train then. Like they can't be.
Pro athletes are like the worst, I guess. They're like big babies.
But like back in the day, Michael Jordan's in there pumping them out on the bench, like after the games and stuff.
He wanted to be great.
Yeah.
Sure, LeBron has no problem working out. Probably doesn't do a good job, but he probably does it.
Oh no, he got blasted on social media a few years back about that squat that he did. That was just like absolutely atrocious looking.
On the Joel Seedman plan, I guess.
Probably was. He probably in secret was using him. Oh, Joel, let's not get started there. That's another. Maybe we could get Joel on the podcast.
Don't know who Joel Seedman is? Oh God, what would we ask that guy?
I would just
so full of shit that you believe it.
I would clown his videos the whole time, dude.
I wouldn't even be nice to that individual because it's just fucking preposterous bullshit.
Oh, it's terrible, dude. It's
so bad.
His squats he did a squat with a trap bar, like a necklace one time.
90-degree eccentric isometrics. Like, what are you talking about?
What's an eccentric isometric, Alex? Can you tell the people?
Physically impossible from my understanding of physics.
Well, just based on muscle lengths and tensions, it's impossible. They're two separate things.
To have an isometric contraction, you can't be doing an eccentric.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to pick one or the other.
No movement. Isometric means no lengthening, no
eccentric into an isometric and then into his concentric.
God, that guy.
Like everyone would do with a pause.
He's smoking his own pipe. Dear God. But he has over 3 million people that follow him.
Yeah, well, followers don't mean everything.
Nope, but they do mean money for that guy.
Yeah, clearly that guy's monetizing it.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, he's got so many books and manuals and ways to get better, and he's got professionals.
He's a business guy for sure.
You know, if you got professionals, you got to know what you're doing, right?
Like he's like the epitome of the business guy, right? For fitness influencers, and then you have all the good coaches don't want to know how to do any of that, so they don't want to make any money.
Right.
Like, how about just find a medium?
Yeah, I liked the post about how. I don't know who it was. I don't remember who posted it on Instagram. I saw it yesterday about how, like, if you had 1,000 followers and you said you wanted however many clients, but you only have X amount, it's like, well, I need more clients. It's like, no, you just need to monetize more of the ones that are actually following you and that you have influence on.
We had a better audience.
Yeah. So they're there. You have them. If you have 1,000 followers, like, okay, well, my God, you should be able to make a living off of this. Like, you just have to flip those people and get them to
some way, somehow. How do you do that, Nathan? How do you interest them? What is the marketing secrets you have?
I don't have any marketing secrets because everything I learned from is from you. So,
you're doing better than me.
What? That's not true.
I mean, yeah, probably.
No, I
tell people no.
I tell people no.
No, I do.
Oh,
you don't.
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like,
that's the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wasn't telling people no. Yeah, I had all kinds of work.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I can move into this new building and start to open up some new avenues for some people. That'd be kind of cool. That's actually really exciting. That building was really perfect. Like, I can't explain to you how perfect this building is. It's like an old, it's like almost like if you were just like a car shop, like a old car shop or like an auto body shop, and they have the 2 bays that kind of come up and you can open those up and have your gym in there. Oh, dude, I'm kind of pumped about it. I walked out, I called my wife. I'm like, we're doing it. Believe in me. She was like, okay, we're having a kid. I do believe in you. Let's do it. But it was just like, I was pumped. So
Nice.
and it's actually like on a better road. I'll get more like traffic too, and
There you go.
you could come down
You live
and
in
rent.
a town of 3,000 people.
You just come down and rent. Well, just come down and rent space from me. It's all good.
You want me to come rent space for you?
Or you could just come down and share the building with me. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I can just make content in your building?
Yeah, there you go. No different. Just the building.
No different at all.
No, you just, here's the content. He's still here, people. He just moved to Missouri. He's not in Colorado anymore. Sorry about you.
Yeah, misery.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know that I could move to a place that sounds like misery.
we'll make it worth your time. Don't worry. Anyway.
You're over here telling me you can't charge more money all the time. So you want me to come down there
It's
where I
done,
charge way
dude.
more?
It's done. I'm biting the bullet. I'm in. I'm deep. I've got it worked out. I've got my pricing worked out. It's done. We're going hard here. It's all in. We're all in on it.
All in, he says.
Yeah. I'm taking a page out of your note and trying to get people to sign up for longer at the prices that I want them to. So.
Yeah, that's where you give them the discounts.
Yep. That's what I had this. Yep. That's the same idea behind this baseball thing that I want to do, but apparently people don't want to make money. So I don't know. Dude, that's just. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
People don't want to make you, Mr. Scared to charge anybody more than $5 too. Get out of here. Shut
I'm
up.
out of it now. Nope, I'm done. It's all it's
Now
worth.
you're out of it. You've had talk with Jesus, apparently.
No, I had a talk with you, and you mentally destroyed me the other day, and I was like, you know what? He's right. Let's go. Here we go. It's go time.
Well,
Sat down and recreated my website, all that stuff. I was like, it's go time.
it's go time.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what I did, but I don't even remember.
You just were you. You're just your normal. It's like, okay, so the text that the guy sent you about the deadlifting, where he's like, we get that you hate everyone, Alex, but we like people sometimes. It's
I
like,
don't hate everyone.
nah, you hate people on certain days. You have modes where you just feel
I hate
you
certain types of people.
you snap
That's
your
for sure.
fingers and you're like, I'm going to kill everybody that exists on this planet today.
That hasn't happened in so long.
Hmm.
You guys don't even know. You don't even know.
Nah, you're a pretty good dude. Deep down.
that I
Somewhere.
hate people.
Somewhere in there. You just hate everyone, yeah.
I don't have tolerance for stupidity.
When I read that text, I laughed so hard though that he said, not everyone hates everyone, Alex, like you.
I don't hate everyone. You think I wouldn't enjoy having a good workout partner? Yeah, but I'm not going to let it hold me back.
Hey, that's another
Oh,
perk.
I can't do this without somebody here. Oh, no.
Another perk of moving to Missouri. I get to train with you, not the other way around. It's not.
Say what?
It's like I get to train with you. I'll hold
It's
your weights
like-
for you, buddy.
Generally, if I'm getting a workout partner that's weaker than me, it's going to be of the opposite sex.
Hey, come on! I'm not that far behind.
I'm just saying.
I'm
I need
not
someone to
that
push
much
me.
weaker than
And
you,
if they're not going to push me in
jerkhead.
weight, then they're going to motivate me in other ways. Okay.
Unbelievable! Get out of my life. Okay.
It's not unbelievable. I
And
just
with
know-
that, we are
just
no
know what
longer
drives-
making it to episode 6
what-
of this
I know what
podcast.
drives the bus. Okay.
That's fair. Your motivations and my motivations are definitely two different things. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm motivated to compete. I guess
I compete, but like
you don't compete.
I compete with myself.
Yeah, that's what I said too until I signed up for a competition.
I'm gonna start looking today. Now that you said that, you jackwagon. Oh,
You don't want to be
jeez.
strong.
Yes, I do. Damn it! I followed you around for a year and a half like a sick dog.
That's because you were in worse shape before.
No, it's because I believe in you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Not somebody. I got one, and the other 3 people listening to this podcast. How many? How many did we get last week?
I don't know. Let's look it up. Actually,
Do a
I was
weekly
kind of worried.
stat update.
Weekly ad update.
Stat up. Oh, you want to do a weekly ad update too? Oh yeah, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Substack.
Oh, we only got 8 last
Damn.
week. We only got 8
on
on Spotify. I don't know about YouTube.
Spotify. I got 4 on the YouTube.
Okay. The fuck, I got 4 on the YouTube.
I know you got old
Um,
people in your town that say shit like that. I'm going down to the Target. Like,
we
what
don't
the
have a
fuck?
Target.
There's
Walmart.
no the.
Walmart.
Yeah, well, going down to the Walmart. That doesn't sound as weird.
Oh man. Let's see.
Nobody says the Target.
That's true. Unless you're in Britain and then they say, I'm going to
Biloxi,
hospital.
Missouri. Is Biloxi in Missouri or is it Mississippi?
Mississippi, homeboy. Come on now.
One of those M fuck. Don't act like Missouri is so much different than Mississippi.
Hey, we're
Get the
not
fuck outta here.
Mississippi. We are not the deep south, my guy. We are not
Oh,
the deep
really?
south.
I mean, southern Missouri is pretty deep south, is it not?
No.
Still above Oklahoma.
We're very much redneck, but we are not the South. Although we
South
did
South.
vote to be a slave state, I think. In the
Then why would I want to move to Missouri then if it's not even the South?
well, Arkansas is 30 minutes away. That's the South.
Arkansas.
There you go. Can't even say their own state's name correctly. We got 130 views on my channel last week. So
Hey, dang, look at you. Your
Wait.
channel's way better than mine,
I
apparently.
think that's what we got anyway.
I even
Yeah.
post mine in stories constantly, and nobody clicks on it, clearly.
Don't know, brother. Oh, well.
I probably just have 2,000 followers of people that want to watch me fail. That's
Well,
probably-
there's no. I would say that there's a small percentage of people that want to listen to us for an hour and 40 minutes talk about airports and things like that.
Hey, you know what? There's good tidbits. I make plenty of clips out of these things.
Oh yeah, they're great. I love them. They're fantastic.
Yeah, like whatever. What do you
Well-
talk about? Fucking anything. What do you talk about?
Yeah, people laughed because they were like, "Well, what's your niche?" I'm like, "We don't have one." They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "We just enjoy conversation." I don't know.
Jackass, have you never listened to Joe Rogan?
We just talk.
It's like you're hanging out. That's
They're
all
like,
it is.
They're like, how do you talk for an hour and 30 minutes about whatever comes to your mind? I'm like, because we're still human beings that actually know how to interact with people in this world and we can carry conversations. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's like the one time a week I get to interact the way I want to instead of having to fucking be like, oh, hey, how are you doing? How's everything going? Like,
I didn't get to not be a robot for an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not quite a robot, but you know.
I'm pretty close to it at this point. So.
Really? That doesn't sound like fun at all.
Hi, hello, how are you? It's, you know, no, I like the people. I got some really cool text messages today for some of my clients. That was some really uplifting stuff. So,
Oh, yay. Nathan got some wins today.
Big
we didn't do
ones.
our weekly share. We didn't share our weekly wins.
those are mine. Changing people's lives. Like, I just,
You got
there's
good text messages. What happened to me in the last week that's been good?
pretty phenomenal text messages, actually. So,
Weather's been shitty, so I haven't been riding the motorcycle. That's not good. What else?
has the weather been terrible? You can't ride your.
Been raining every day.
Ah, that's been here lately too. Yeah, it's just been pouring.
Oh, wait, you get the same weather we do, but later? Who would have thought?
Well, duh.
Clouds.
Well, most of the time we
Oh.
don't actually because it goes north. So we get a lot of stuff that comes up from the Gulf.
I'm trying to think. What was a good thing that happened last week?
Come on,
Nothing's really standing out. It was pretty
stop it.
Average week.
Come on,
I don't know.
come on,
That's going well, I guess. I don't fucking know.
stop it.
You know, I didn't actually lose my vision.
His vision was restored. Everyone, don't
Yeah.
worry.
It came back. I was like watching videos of my workout, and you can like see me fucking with my eye just like constantly. Like I keep looking off to the side the whole time because I can't see.
Wow, that's. I will say the only time I think I got close to experiencing that was when I tried to do a max effort variation against the blue bands.
I didn't mean to. I just didn't want to be a pussy, so I just.
I didn't
didn't
either.
dare it.
I didn't know what those blue bands entailed when I was working up to a max effort. I was like,
I still have a brand new set I've never touched.
"Yep, those are fun. Those
Haven't
are fun."
graduated to those yet.
I hadn't either. I just wanted to try it.
I had a poor kid today unrack a barbell for like an incline press and almost dump it in his lap.
Oh,
I was like,
By
"What are
hims-
you doing?"
by himself?
I mean, I was watching him.
Oh,
He was in the rack, and
this is a guy you train?
yeah,
Oh no.
I don't get real close and spot people anymore because I feel like they need to learn how to do it.
So you're
I was
just
like, all right, so
if he
to
dies, he
reaffirm
dies.
What we actually want to do is go ahead and unrack and stabilize the weight, and then do your rep.
I had to teach that to a kid today on my story that was bench pressing. He goes, because after the set, he did a good job. And then after the set, he was like, I got a little scared there for a second. Cause like once you let go of the bar, I felt like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, well, I'm like, that's what you want to do. When I let go, hold it there for a second so you can feel what it's like. Don't just like when I let go, just let it go. Yeah. Well, he did all the way up to that point, but that was a new level for him. Like that was like a
matter. You got to feel the weight from the beginning. No way to just like prepare for that all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's what he was like. He was like, oh no. He's like, I got a little scared. Like, you killed it.
It was at least reverse band. So like when it almost tried to go down to his chest, it just got super light so he could pick it up.
Oh yeah. So at least he's not okay. There's a little help there. I mean, this kid was doing some fat grip bench work. So these dang wrestlers
What do you like the fat grips for? What is that about?
Just trying to, I'm running it to with these young kids because their grip strengths are so incredibly low that I'm trying to improve that. See if it'll help.
Why don't you make them do carries?
I do make them do carries. I'm doing stuff like that as well.
Aren't you?
Huh?
Gotta be fancy, aren't you?
No, I'm just trying it. Hey, I'm just trying. Just gonna try some stuff, you know? Just tired of their grip strengths being really piss weak, and they're wrestlers and they have to grapple people all the time anyway. So it's like, gotta get this up.
Understandable.
God, they hate doing carries though. Oh my God, they hate it.
Really?
Oh, they absolutely hate it. Farmer carries, dumbbell carries, trap bar carries, med ball carries.
Sandbags, dude.
I know. I saw some on Facebook. I actually almost pulled the trigger on yesterday, but
almost doesn't count, bro.
Well, there's probably a sizable loan that's about to come down, walking down my future if I move into that new building. So we'll see.
That's right fair.
Yeah. Spend it once and move on. All right, brother. I'm going to get down to the gym.
Next time you'll have a kid, so that'll be fun to talk about.
Oh, dear God. Let's not. Let's just not.
No, we'll have Depp on next time. So
I think Sunday's the big day because she wasn't dilated Tuesday. And so I think Sunday they were like, hey, we're going to bring you in on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. Bring you in on Sunday. Get you comfortable.
Sunday.
Put the IV in you, baby.
And 6 days later, we're going to have Mark on. Ass chaos.
Is that that's next Saturday, right?
That's correct.
Hey, there's a possibility. Hey, listen, next Wednesday is still a possibility.
Oh, well.
My wife even said it, not me. She was like, hey, the baby comes out, you can still do your podcast on Wednesday. And I'm like, babe.
Wow.
She's dedicated, bro.
You got to run with it.
Like, all right. You said it. You said it. Oh, man. All right, man. Appreciate it as always. Right. To all of those that are listening, if you want to check out our socials. Later. Yeah. If you're still listening or you want to check out our socials, we'll link them in the description below. If you want to use the code ALGOOL to get 15% off how do you say it? Zendurance? Yeah, Zendurance.
X-Endurance.
X-Endurance. It just sounds like Zendurance to me is what it looks like. But
X-Endurance supplements.
Code ALGOOL.
I just ran out of creatine. I need to get some.
Here you go. 15% off. So we'll link those in the description below, but we all hope you have a wonderful
day. Shit they have, you should try that, dude. I wake up drooling.
What is it?
The deep sleep supplement. It's like 5-HTP and GABA and other things.
I'll give it a go.
A bit of melatonin.
I've been sleeping good lately. Sleep's been dialed in lately. So
my sleep wasn't bad, but this
is a different level. There's levels to this stuff.
Sleeping like a baby.
Oh, I'm gonna have to give it a go.
When's the last time you woke up in your own puddle of drool?
Oh, never. Oh, that's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, man. It might be more frequent now with baby on the way. I might just randomly doze off in the middle of my like counting a rep or something. Like, don't kill yourself. Oh.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that. But yeah, go check out the socials, guys. Go check out all these wonderful products that we have. We will see you again next time here on the Irrelevant Podcast. Peace.
Bye-bye now.